Alright then, I've gone ahead and I've cleared all of the manual priorities from the work assignments so that we can set this up together. And I'll just go over the way that I like to set up my colonists, just for anyone who might be new to watching Rimworld on my channel. First things first, we take care of all of the skills that don't actually require, or rather all of the jobs that don't require any kind of skill. It doesn't affect how fast it works or how well it can be done. Now, generally speaking, the ones at the beginning tend to have a fairly high level of priority, and sometimes I change that around a little bit. The ones at the back, not so much. We've also got plant cutting. That can go somewhere in the middle, a 2 or 3, depending on how important it is to you that people get out there and harvest things that you tell them to harvest. I don't think that specifically affects grow zones. It might though, so, you know, not putting it on 4 is probably worth doing. Now, one thing I do like to do is also set up crafting with that as well, because whereas many jobs, the quality of the end result will be affected by skills, crafting, it really only seems to affect the time it takes to do it, much like research in some ways. But research is a much longer skill, so I tend to want someone who's good at it to do it. But with crafting, not so much. Now, bed rest and flicking switches. I kind of seesaw between wanting these to be the very highest priority or wanting them to be a lower priority. Generally speaking, at the moment, I'm kind of shying away from having switches being a very high priority, simply because, well, maybe they could, if I really want a switch flicked, I don't want someone to just randomly decide that they're going to be the one to do it, because they might end up being the furthest person away from the switch at the time. It is an important thing to do, and because I don't do it very often, I can just look for someone and tell them to do it intentionally. So I'm going to swap that down to a 4, well, or maybe, yeah, I'll leave her on a 4. That way, if it's just a random power switch, sure, I'll just let anyone get to work on that. And with that, we're going to copy this over and we're going to paste it all the way down. Now, a thing about the way the priorities work, again, for someone who's new to Rimworld, it works in the sense of highest priority left to right. So, and then to lowest priority. So we start, all of these are the same priority, but firefighting will be done first, then caring for patients. That is, or rather, going to a bed as a patient. Patients are people who have a life-threatening medical emergency, and bed rest is for people who, they could do without. It's like, the difference is, you'd go for bed rest if you had a bruise on your leg, you'd go there as a patient, or rather you'd limp there as a patient if your leg had been chopped off and was bleeding everywhere. Those are the two differences. So it stands to reason that you'd make it a bit of a priority for that one. This only really starts mattering if you have funky things with the priority of your doctor. Right now, if I set doctor to 1, my doctor, if he lost his leg, would go to a bed and be a patient. Wouldn't treat anyone else. Might not even treat himself, which is a bit of an edge case. But the doctor would get out of bed if he was just resting there because he had a bruise and someone really needed to be tended. He'd get up in order to tend to them if this had a priority of 1. So just to bear that in mind, it's especially important to remember if your doctor comes down with a plague, because they'll keep getting out of bed to treat other people before going back, and you might want to force them to stay in bed to get healthier faster. Now, with that done, the next thing I do is I just go through and I alternate cleaning and hauling, simply because I feel that hauling and cleaning are a similar priority to one another. But if they have the same priority, then hauling will always be done first, because again, it's left to right. So by doing this, I just make sure that every couple of people will try to do cleaning before they'll do hauling. And that just makes sure that the colony is kept clean, because that, again, can affect infections, and that can be really bad. And it'll be especially bad for us here. Next thing to do. At this point, we just go through and we set up everyone who's got a particular high passion for a job to do that as kind of their top job, really. So there we go. All of these people, this is their top priority outside of things which are life-threatening or emergency priorities. Next up, we go through and set up things that they do like doing, that they have got a passion for, just not a burning passion. And the effect of burning passion or just a passion for something affects how fast they can learn from that skill. Someone who hasn't got a passion for a skill learns at like 30%. Someone with a passion, I believe, learns at 100%, and someone with a burning passion, 150%. So they will get through that very quickly. We can easily check that, actually, if we go to one of the characters. So this one, yeah, they'll learn at 100% of the speed, and at a burning passion, they'll learn 150%. They'll also gain joy from doing any job that they have a passion for, and that can actually really, really be important if your colony is struggling with people's moods. After that, the only thing then is to go through and see if there are any edge cases. For example, I don't want to just have one constructor, so I'm going to give a couple of other people a 4 priority on constructing. I'm going to do the same for wardening, and yeah, I'll do the same for cooking as well. Now, those are there because even though if you construct with a low skill or a lower skill, you'll make a worse, for example, piece of furniture. But early on, it matters more to me that walls are being built than they're being built by the best person who can build walls. Additionally, because Aavak, even though he's got a burning passion for cooking, I'm going to give him a tertiary priority for that one because his skill is low enough he might make bad meals, and so food poisoning might occur. So until he gets his skill up, he's going to be on tertiary there. And Kuro, even though I said I kind of want anyone to do crafting, Kuro will be very slow at doing it because they're extremely low skill. So I'll just drop that one off and you don't have to worry about it. But with that, I think we're good to go. Marvelous. Again, I probably won't go over that in any detail further in the series. That's just for anyone who might be new, especially new to the way that I like to set up my priorities. I tend to always do them the same way. Next up, we're going to unforbid all of the items that we received and in there as well. And I would like to actually set up my people to have their weapons. Now, I've got 3 hunters. Anyone who's watched my previous series will know that I'm not usually a fan of having automatic hunters. The reason for that is that sometimes you'll end up having them hunt something which is dangerous, or a large group of animals will aggress, and there's not much you can do if your hunter is far away from the colony and then gets mobbed by angry Muffalo. So I tend to avoid it, but I was so impressed with the way that Kaya was hunting for herself in my Alpha 17 playthrough that I've decided to give it another chance. Aavak, I'm going to let you finish eating your ambrosia, but we are going to need Ferret to grab a bow. I believe Fillins was our war chief. Yes, you can have the peeler, and Kuro, you can also grab... Yes, that is the bow. Fantastic. Now, they were the hunters, and Fillins is by far the best hunter, being well-trained as a war chief. Were you just nuzzled by closeness? That was quite lovely. Was nuzzled by a cat? Lovely. That's actually pretty cool. All right. Once you finish eating, I'm going to get Morphin. Sure, you can go grab the club. Aavak, you can grab the spear. I don't really have too much to say about your skills. They're kind of middling at best. In fact, Aavak's skills are pretty bad. We haven't set that one. Right, the next stage then is getting us some temporary accommodation. Now, this is going to be important. Also, food. We are eating through our pemmican quite quickly. All of our people were malnourished when they arrived, and that is something that we're going to need to deal with rather swiftly. This will do as a room, I think. Let me go ahead and just set this up as a little place where a couple of people can snooze. We'll also get some animal sleeping spots, just so they've got somewhere to go and rest, and then they can get on with that. The next thing, though, is we're going to need a storage area. Let me make sure we've got one. We can make a temporary storage area about this big. How large is that? 7 there. So we'll pop this there and there. And then I'm going to want a roof to be built over it. Also, I hate it when they automatically designate a home zone. Don't like that. Not even slightly. Ah, scallywags. Already done it. Let me get rid of these then. There we are. Right. So that home zone won't be there. So they will sweep inside. But if you've got the home zone outside, I mean, it's useful because they'll put out fires out there. But they'll also sweep the dirt. And that's just a losing battle. We will have this one set up though, so that they'll take care of this. They will be sweeping the dirt there, and there's not a lot we can do about that. But we're just gonna have to live with it for now. Right. Next up, we really need to get some food. So go ahead and harvest any berry plants that you can see. I think that's going to be a particularly important task. Go ahead, grab those ones as well. Have we got any more around? The fact that we started malnourished is quite a concern. Any others? Let's grab these. Okay, that should do for now. Once all of that is done, we're going to want to start cooking, more or less straight away, if I'm perfectly honest. We've got our... Oh, no, we haven't even set up our stockpile zone in here yet. Let me go ahead and sort that out. We'll rename this to storage. Now, at the moment, we haven't got very many things that we need to store. We more or less need to store everything we can, wherever you can. The main thing is to have a roof over this area, because that will prevent spoilage of things like wood or weapons. They'll not deteriorate. Food will, because that's based on temperature, but some things will just break down only if they're uncovered, and that's the best that we can do right now, is try and reduce that as much as we can. We'll also get a dumping stockpile down here just to help me get rid of junk, which could be anything. Let's allow rotten in there. Don't put any weapons in there, because weapons will deteriorate, but allow all apparel, but don't allow non-dead man's apparel. Dead man's apparel is clothing that someone has worn and was killed in. And your people tend to have a different... They don't like it. They don't like wearing people's death clothes. They think they're dirty, and they're worth a lot less to traders as well. So I don't mind leaving them out to deteriorate. We will have chunks, and we will have all corpses going in there. We'll actually make this one a preferred place for these items. That way, if there's any overlap, they'll go there first rather than into our general storage area. Now, the next part that we're going to have to work on. We are going to very badly need somewhere... Well, we can't build there, fair enough. Let's actually... Really can't build there either. Ouch. This area is nasty. Ah, yes, I can see the kind of the marshy tiles just in there. All right. Well, one thing we don't want to do is to lay down anything on rich soil. That is actually significantly more important to us as it is for planting purposes. Production-wise, we want to get a butcher's table, probably fairly early, and then a fueled stove as well. And this will be the beginning of the structure that we're going to use for that. We'll have a little door there. That'll be fine. They can go straight out there into the storage area. As for our meals, right now we have no particular method of keeping our meals fresh. It is what it is. So anywhere is as good as anywhere else for the time being. But what I will do is I'll set up a little area, and I'll put in a primitive cooler. We'll get some doors in here. And it won't do a lot. It won't chill the room, because it works via water evaporation. So it can only really cool the room so much. But it will... Every little bit helps, as long as it doesn't get over hot. I mean, it's fairly chilled at the moment, and depending on the situation, I might even put a vent in there and open it up. Now, that is going to require some steel, so we're going to need to get a bit of mining happening down here. As for everything else, we're going to want a place for people to eat, so let's designate that. Now, we've got a number of different types of tables. In fact, there's loads of different types of furnishings. We've even got things from previous mods, such as the end table and the dresser, which make bedrooms a little bit more effective. They make beds slightly more comfortable. I really, really like that. We've also got a lot of new joy items. The hoopstone ring, we're basically trying to throw rocks into a small target area from some distance. We've got a billiards table, we've got a poker table. The billiards table and chess table are familiar to anyone who's played the previous version. Now, as for the tables, I'm kind of a fan of having nicely spaced tables, but I also like making sure that my people can actually sit around a table and can speak to each other. I think that's important. I want you to butcher creatures forever. If we've got a carcass, we want it butchered. That has already been set up not to allow humanoid carcasses, which is just as well, because people will generally not like it. And this isn't a Dark Aavak playthrough. No, no, no. This is also... Oh, no, really? Oh, that's so annoying. All right, then, I guess. that's going to be a thing that we're going to have to deal with, and it's going to annoy the dickens out of me. Actually, given that, then let me no, cancel all of these things. Sorry, I'm messing you around, but I didn't realize. I was a drip. That will, yeah, we're going to make this into the storage room then. If I'd realized that, I would have swapped the positions of those, but I guess it'll do. Actually, I guess that isn't such a bad room. Can I build this up a little bit? Sure, I can. We're not going to worry too much about the geotherm for the time being. I'll just get that door built in there. We are going to need a couple of other production items. We are going to desperately require this. We need a research bench. We will also place this down because we've got to increase our research rather rapidly. As for our table, sure, we'll reposition that over here and get the dining chairs in position. There we go. And there we are. They can just walk around there. We'll pop in some joy items, though, because it is really important to have joy items, because people will slowly go stir crazy if you don't. And I like having benches around the chess table, because the chess table seems to be lower to the ground, so I feel that the benches should be closer to the ground as well. I kind of have this sort of old men on a porch playing Go kind of vibe from the chess table and stools that I quite enjoy. Really, that's just a tiny little marsh. Is it the only marsh there? Oh, it is as well. That is so ridiculously frustrating. My goodness. So we could have built the whole thing around it and just not had that. Can I actually build something on there? Because if I can turn that into a floor. No, I cannot. Tad frustrating, but okay. All right, what we need then is to do a little bit of hunting around the place. Have we finished this room? Excellent, we have. We'll also hunt the meat. Because, you know, come on, we can't be choosy around. Oh, wow, well done, Fillins. Very well done. And well done, Ferret, actually. My lord, I'm actually remarkably impressed. Okay, at this point, it's time to start speeding things up. We've already gone through all of our wood, I think, so we're going to have to start gathering a little bit more. And we should probably prioritize the areas where the wood is over areas where we would want to build farms. That said, we're also going to want to put in some flooring, so let's get that going. Have we finished construction on this yet? No, it doesn't look like we've even started, unfortunately. That is a bit of a potch, because we do need to start cooking meals sooner than rather sooner than later, because otherwise we are going to run into a little bit of trouble with our food, and people will start having to eat raw meat. No one likes that. I believe we've also got a night owl. Who is our night owl? Kuro is our night owl. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do then, we're going to set up the sleep schedules. Kuro, you are going to sleep from the hours of 11 until 6. That is when you're going to see. I'm going to let everyone else just more or less do their own thing. Though I will give a period of enforced joy. Take some time out. Every day, take some time out. Kuro's going to do it just before bed. Everyone else, though, will do it just after waking up. This way, what will happen is they will have time together, so they'll socialize a little bit more, and I think that's particularly important, actually. Right, it looks like everyone's turning in for the night. Now, they are going to upset each other. This is not a good barracks, and every time someone comes through the door, it's going to basically wake everyone up, but oh well, it's going to be a temporary situation. But on a marsh like this, we're going to actually have to build quite far out, and there's no easy way of protecting this colony. There are not going to be any bottlenecks here. And I'm actually kind of excited about that, I'll be honest with you. We would actually like to harvest a lot of these plants so I can see properly where the rich soil is, because that is generally going to be a much more important asset to us. Starvation. Fillins is bloody hungry. Go ahead, eat your fill, Fillins. That actually was a bit punny, and I didn't even intend it. Have we got more meat around? No, Closeness is eating the meat. Has everyone else woken up yet? Ferret is still snoozing. Fillins will hopefully get some things taken care of. It's just chilling out right now. Let's have a look at your needs. Your joy is fully restored. I'm very happy with that. Well done. Let's get some more things done. Really? You're just leaving the turkey there to die? No, you're not. You're shooting my benches instead. Why are you hiding from a turkey? You do not need to hide from the turkey. Kuro, You're being very derpy right now. Let's have a look at the turkey. You're just going to die. You're going to be dead in 4.2 hours. And you're now knocked out. Really, Fillins? If we pause it and have a look at the combat, we'll actually see what's going on. Blood loss caused by the turkey to collapse unconscious. Fillins, Pelum pierced the turkey's tail adroitly. Fillins, Pelum annihilated the turkey's left kidney to bits. Fillins shot hit the turkey. You'll get like a Dwarf Fortress kind of combat log now. It's a little bit more fun when it's actually combat, not hunting. But still, pretty amusing all the same. Right, there we go. We've got a couple of things that will hopefully start butchering soon. But a lot of people are focusing on building right now, which I think we really do need you to be working on other things. I've got to be honest. I need to stop giving you so many jobs to do. So it's clear it's slowing everyone down. Well, at least we've got a table. Well, no, we haven't got a table yet. We'll have the table shortly, and then, well, maybe. And then people will be able to eat at the table, and it'll be great. And people will stop having panic attacks over the idea of eating without a table. They take it very seriously in this game. Eating without a table is practically a capital offense in Rimworld. That is really not good. That is especially ungood. Kuro, though, is staying up now. Failed while constructing the chair. That's fine. You can just keep working on it. Is there any more berry bushes around? There are a couple more berry bushes about. Let's get those harvested, shall we? The problem is I can't see a lot of the berry bushes through all of the undergrowth. Which makes a lot of sense, I suppose. Let's get that one as well. Okay, that should do. It has where is Kuro? Kuro is actually harvesting. Well done, Kuro. I approve. I approve of your efforts there. Can we also get a couple of these animals hunted? Oh my lord, look at all of these. Just waiting to be harvested. Just sat there waiting for me. My goodness. Okay, Kuro is helping out. People are probably going to spend a bajillion years not getting anything killed. Morphine playing chess against himself, you know. Got to keep the mind sharp. Okay, we've got our stove ready, but Kuro is insistent on trying to eat raw meat. No, we need you to not do that, frankly. There we go. Aavak's eating his ambrosia because Aavak is a clever little sausage. Well done, and go ahead. Go grab a meal if you want one. Oh, thank goodness, we're finally making our own meals. That is good times. Now, we're only going to make 5 because we have nowhere particularly good to store it. But that being said, let's make sure that we are actually storing it out of the way of just animals. So we'll make this the food storage. And set this one up as an important place to put things. We don't want any rotten things in there. And corpses should really be cut up as soon as they are hunted. We shouldn't be hunting more than we need, basically. I feel that our tribe here would be used to not taking more than they need from the land, because that is the way that you starve the land, and eventually you realize you can't actually eat money. Unless your money is bread, like the Egyptians. The Egyptians had the right idea. My lord. Right, Kuro is currently snoozing. Hopefully we can get you some housing down around here soon. There we go. Things are getting a little bit better now. Getting some simple meals going. Ah, good times. Okay, we've got some visitors as well. A group from Tiesta Confederation are visiting the colony. They don't appear to have anything to trade, though, which is a little bit of a shame. Okay, well, looks like we're doing all right. We've made quite a few meals. Are we making more? Oh, we're making pemmican. Ah, good. Now, pemmican will last for a long, long time. So that's all rather good. There we go. Aavak eating off a table like a civilized individual. I approve. There we go. Things are getting a little bit better now. We're starting to bring in all of the food that we had dotted around the map. There is quite a lot of food up there, though. Ooh, boars. Sure. Go ahead and hunt those too if you can. Rat meat has rotted away in storage. Yeah, it's going to do that a lot until we have some means of handling it. What on earth are you doing? Why? I don't even. But alright, I suppose. Let's set all of this up as home zone, though. Now, we could set up a couple of separate rooms here and there, and that would probably be a worthwhile thing to do. But right now, I really just want you guys to actually gather what I've told you to... finish the building that I've told you to finish, frankly, and we're already almost through all of our meals. Kuro, do you cook at all? You don't, and you're not very good at it. It's a bit of a shame, actually. It would have been useful to have someone who cooked at night. I'm going to switch things up a little bit. Aavak is going to be up at night. Aavak's going to work alongside Kuro, and hopefully we'll get someone who does a bit of cooking at night to replenish the meals that we eat in the day, so there's always plenty of meals for people to eat when they wake up. Ah, okay. Aavak thinks that you should give your faction a name. Well, that's true. I do. I was wondering when this would pop up. I find it kind of ironic that it was me who suggested it. And since it looks like you'll be here for a while, Aavak also thinks that you should give this community a name. What should this local community be called? Well, that is a good question. All right, I've had a bit of a think, and I think I have a pretty good handle on the story that is writing itself more or less as we go. So the machines come upon us during the night, silent, oddly. They didn't fall from the skies, but they certainly butchered our people. Perhaps a vengeful god, a vengeful spirit that hadn't properly been honored, sent these death machines to lay waste to our village. But we escaped. We escaped because we fled amongst a herd of Muffalo. The mechanoids were disinterested in the Muffalo and couldn't sense us amongst them because the Muffalos were shielding us. Urged on by our Muffalo shaman Ferret, we found this safe haven, this refuge away from the carnage that was our past life. And so we're going to call this community Muffalo's Mercy. But as for the faction name, we, the survivors of our once grand and no doubt impressive tribe, we shall be calling ourselves the Gavel of Vengeance. Because what better way to honor those who have fallen than by hunting down the machines mercilessly and purging them from this world? We are using the implement of justice, the gavel, to exact our vengeance against the mechanoids. And I imagine the gavel isn't like a courtroom gavel. It's probably some sacred rock carved with intricate runes, and maybe the rock is made of some sort of reactive material or mineral or metal, and when it's struck against some sort of the stone of judgment, it causes sparks, and maybe the person who wields the gavel has an intricate metal gauntlet to protect their hand, except the chief, the chief of all of the Justicars, who doesn't, and his hand is horribly scarred, but that's just how much he cares. He allows the fury of the gavel to cleanse his soul. Yes, I'm liking this. We shall wreak terrible vengeance upon the mechanoids. But otherwise, we'll be quite dapper about it, honestly. Let's not let things go to our heads. We're not evil. This isn't a Dark Aavak playthrough, I think. I'm not sure. Sometimes I can't tell. Right, let's see. Hopefully we'll get a couple of boars. That will be particularly good. We are not going too well right now. Where are you, Aavak, and what are you doing? You are heading to cook simple meals. Good. Marvellous. We definitely do need to set up some growing, though. And that is going to be extremely important. The thing is, we could try and mirror where the rich soil is, or we could just slap some things down in a couple of places and hope for the best. Depending on the how much rich soil is, I think, is what we're going to do. For example, over here, I think we've got a reasonable amount of rich soil. Yes, we do. So this one will be a grow zone for something that is sensitive to that sort of thing. And we'll have the whole area. We've got a 7x7. There we go. That'll be decent. And we can choose... Now, of the things that are sensitive to fertility of the soil, rice is 100% sensitive. We've got corn, 100% sensitive. Potato, by comparison, only 40% sensitive, so we can grow that pretty much anywhere, and it won't really affect it too much. But I think we'll go for rice. We'll get some rice being built there. Yeah. So that'll be the first area, and we want somewhere else. It looks like this area over here is perhaps quite a lot of rich soil as well. So let's get some more growing over here. And again, another 7x7 farm. And this one we'll set up as corn. So we've got plenty of food. Have we got more rich soil? We've got lots of rich soil up there, perhaps. Wow, you know what? I really think we've got a lot of rich soil. This is not going to be too bad. This is not going to be too bad at all. Another 7x7. I would like this one, though, to be heal root. We're going to need heal root. Ah, there's no one here who can grow it. Okay, and for the time being, we'll switch to something else. Let's see. Well, let's go for cotton then, I suppose. How? Yeah, 70%, sure. We'll go with cotton here. Let's grab cotton plants, and that way we can build our bed. That'll be quite nice. And I do think we need somewhere that we grow potatoes, because what is a colony without potatoes, frankly? I would like to be able to see the areas that I've set up. Toggle visibility of zones. Oh, I can see them, it's just I can't. Alright, we'll have a reasonable sized potato field just about there. Actually, is that... Well, there's no reason not to use this rich soil, actually, thinking about it. So we'll have a 10x5 just for potatoes. Yeah, sure, that all seems reasonable to me. We'll also build in another door. Well, we can't put it there. We'll pop the door there just so we've got a couple of routes to leave by if we should need to. And sometimes we will need to, so it makes sense to have a couple of escape routes planned. Now, beyond that, we are going to need a few apartments. They don't need to be anything too impressive. And in fact, I would say that we probably don't want them to be too impressive. Otherwise, it might encourage people to come down here and try and attack us. And that's definitely not what we want. So we'll just set up a couple of small areas in here. Something like this. That one is a little bit larger than I intended. Let's get all of this set out. That being said, yeah, we'll probably just move this around at some point. Mad animal. Who is the mad animal? Let's jump to the location. We've got a mad squirrel on loose. Well, that actually shouldn't be too bad. And I think for the most part, our melee fighters, Aavak and Morphin, should be set to attack things that attack them. There we are. Our range fight, actually, fill-ins can as well, because the peeler can be used as a close combat weapon if someone wants to. Right, who's around? Ferret, I'd like you to try and take out this squirrel, please. Well done. Closeness has gotten food poisoning from bird meat. Well, why on earth would you do that? I suppose that's going to happen. Please don't eat my pemmican. I don't have enough of that stuff. We also need to get that loaded as well. But there we go. We're getting a couple of things set up now. It seems that we're, once again, shy on wood, though, which is a bit of a problem. Let's go ahead and get all of that cut down. Now, these areas are not going to be great. They're actually going to be fairly cramped by Rimworld standards. But they will allow us to at least... Well, actually... Yeah, we'll set them up like this. They will be cramped by Rimworld standards, but at least they'll have their own room. And, you know, there's a lot to be said about that. That will generally improve their mood. Let's get that laid down. And since I actually have... got a little bit of steel, so I would like to actually lay down some concrete in here. Just so that we don't... Oh, that's going to be annoying, but okay. Just so that it doesn't get quite as dirty. That's going to be very annoying, I'll be honest with you. Let's try and cut down these trees as well. There we go. Well done there. Do you actually grow? Oh yeah, Aavak grows. Very well, he gets a little bit of joy out of it as well. You can sort of see a little bar behind people's portraits that shows you, roughly speaking, where their mood is at. Which is always nice to see. There we go, let's get that last little bit done there. Now on to the next area. Hopefully our constructors will wander down shortly. Kuro and Aavak are some of our constructors. Fill-ins, not high enough on construction. We've got too many other jobs for them to do at the moment, which is a bit of a potch, really. Hopefully we can get them to handle all of that. Let's make sure, yeah, you've all got your joy times and you'll just hang out with each other. Okay, well, that isn't terribly bad, but we are still waiting on this place to be built. And we have been waiting for an awfully, awfully long time. Hopefully Fill-ins... There we go. Fill-ins has actually gotten the message. Oh, thank goodness. I mean, almost thank goodness. Not quite there yet. Why do you keep doing that? Finish the jobs you start, you scallywag. That's an important job. We need it done. There we go. Oh, thank goodness. Right. Okay, research. So the very first thing that we're going to be looking into. We can have a look at complex clothing. No, beds. Oh, my lord, look at how expensive everything is. Okay, it's going to take us quite some time. We can have a look at beds, but right now I think we're okay with what we've got. Yeah, it's going to take us a while. Let's get stone cutting up and running so we can actually make use of all of this stone. There we go. Hopefully we can get that going, and then once we've got that, we can start laying down some proper paving and generally have a less prone to being immediately set on fire base. A chunk of spacecraft has fallen from space and landed nearby, and a wanderer joins. A villager named Hakuja has arrived and is joining the colony. She is a healer. Well, we don't actually strictly need healers. You've brought a gun? My goodness. Your childhood, you were a killer. Are we sure we want this person to join? I don't think she gave us any option, actually, and maybe there's a reason why she didn't feel the need to give us an option. Killer. Hakuja was a bloodlusting child. Villagers thought her the product of a snake demon and human coupling. After watching how her human father betrayed and murdered her mother, she longed to see how many more humans she could get to fall into her hands. Okay, melee +4, medicine +2. Wardening disabled, that's probably for the best. And then Hakuja took the time to admire the beauty of the world. That doesn't sound right. Her passive aggressiveness surfaced once in a while, but she tried to adapt to her changing life. Oh, okay, so that is actually quite an interesting one. Can't do dumb label, can't do socializing or mining. And you've got an annoying voice. Hakuja's voice has a particularly grating nasal quality to it, and she tends to talk in barked, garbled phrases. This predisposes others to dislike her. And she's also trigger happy. Pew pew pew! Hakuja just likes pulling the trigger. She shoots faster than others, but less accurately. But fairly good. Wow, growing 10. Okay, that is genuinely quite amazing. I am really, really happy with that. Let's go and set you up then. So, as before, we can just... Wow, you are a really good medic. Alright, let's get you going with that. Did I not set Dark Aavak up to do doctoring on it too? Right, you can also have this as a 3. Well, no. No, let's not. Let's not do that one. But you can have that one on a 2. So you will be doing growing alongside Morphin. And you get all of these to 3. So you will do a little bit of... well, actually, I'm going to give that a 4. You won't be doing any research, however. All right. A new colonist has joined us. That is happy days indeed. However, we're not going to be naming her right now. Naturally, that's going to come in time. And we'll be open up to the comments. So let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in claiming this character for yourself. What's the temperature in here? The temperature is way too bloody hot. That is what the temperature is. We need some passive coolers in this room. 2 of them, in fact. Fill-ins, could you prioritize working on those passive coolers? We need to get the temperature down in here quite badly. Now work on that one, please. There we go. Get that one sorted. There we are. Hopefully there we are. It's pulled the temperature down. That's not terribly bad. But now that we've got this, we really, really want to set up a grow zone for heal root. Is all of this reasonable? I think it is. Yeah, let's go ahead and set this one up for heal root. There we go. Now, what is heal root sensitivity? 100%. So, yeah, you generally want the better soil for that. Alright, not too bad. The colony is slowly coming together. Really, guys? Could you maybe fuel this instead of eating raw meat? Aavak, could you do that for me? Thank you. Problem is that is considered a hauling job, and we don't tend to have hauling particularly high as far as jobs go, so it is going to cause us some issues, but oh well. For the time being, we'll get a couple more meals prepared. In fact, let's go ahead and increase the simple meals up to 10, and we'll only unpause when it gets down to 5. That should help out a little bit more. There we go. We've still not even worked on any of the apartments for our colonists yet. They don't have anywhere to call their own. And that is going to start grating on their nerves after a while. But I think we've made some decent progress so far. I hope you've enjoyed the episode, but we are running out of time, so I'm going to wrap it up here. Do let me know in the comments down below if you would like to claim Hakuja, and if you have any general feedback. I'm always happy to read the comments and take on board any pearls of wisdom that you might have to offer. But until next time, and as always, take care, everyone.